What's going on, everybody? Jackson Fuller here with the Star News. This is another episode of Zoom Time, and really happy to be joined today by Cape Fear Academy senior George Lefebvre, soon-to-be graduate. George, how are you doing, man? How are you hanging up during this quarantine COVID-19 pandemic in our lives right now?
I'm doing good, kind of like everyone else, trying to, stay active, stay busy, spend time with whoever I'm around. So just kind of doing what everyone else is doing.
Now, for those that don't know, George, he finished up his last 3 years at Cape Fear Academy, but originally from Canada. You're from Montreal, correct?
Yes, sir.
Good. I'm glad I didn't forget that. I did a whole big story on George and the two other Canadians that came to Cape Fear Academy, and I remembered that. So, are you back in Canada now, or are you still here in Wilmington?
No, I'm still in Wilmington. I'm still up here because my dad is planning to drive up and get me and get all my stuff and head back. So we're just waiting for the border to open. But when the gyms start reopening, I'm probably gonna try to stick around a little bit, see the guys, go get some work in with the team, and then probably say goodbye to everyone and then head back home.
How stressful has that been, man? I mean, I know originally like if everything was normal, you'd still be here in Wilmington until graduation and stuff, but it's not quite normal. Has it been a pretty stressful time trying to figure out when you're going to be able to get back home and get back to Canada?
I mean, originally, like at first, while everything was starting off, yes, but my host family has been like unbelievable, and I've built a really strong relationship with them, especially like being at home and almost being with them like every minute of every day. Like if it wasn't for the like this whole virus stuff, we'd probably still be in our regular lives, going to school, doing our thing, going to the gym, seeing our friends, and not being able to like spend time like at your house with people like that. So it's been good to be with them and kind of get to know them more than I have like throughout the entire year. And I'm just very thankful for them.
Yeah. I know from talking to you and Emmanuel and Yvonne, just you guys really we're appreciative all the time of your host families. I'm sure that has taken on a new level right now. How have you been able to kind of stay active and do any workouts? Maybe not basketball, just any, physical activity right now. What are you kind of doing to stay busy?
Yeah, my host parents, my host mom in particular, she used to do like a lot of marathons. So in the morning, whenever I can, I go out and run with her. And like it's a different kind of style, like running for a marathon versus like when you're doing basketball, it's more like short and like sprints and stuff. Whereas the stuff that I've been doing with her is more long and not as high paced, but it really helps for the endurance. So I've been doing that. I've been doing a lot of body weight workouts on my own, trying to stay active, trying to keep stay consistent with strength. We just put up a hoop outside a few weeks ago, so I'm able to go out there, put up shots, do some dribbling exercises, doing whatever I can to kind of keep up.
Yeah, nice. That's super clutch. I bet to get that hoop. No better time to have your own hoop than when the gyms are closed right now.
Exactly.
George, I know, we kind of have talked about this, and for anyone that hasn't read my story, kind of like, share with your journey to Cape Fear Academy and why, coming down to America and playing high school basketball here was a goal of yours and something that you really feel like was an achievement in your basketball career.
I mean, it's always a kid's dream to, play basketball in the United States. So, growing up in Canada, as I started to develop more and really, develop my skill set, those words started to go around that I should start looking to go play basketball in the U.S. and compete with the best players, in the country, especially in like one of the basketball states in North Carolina. So, my dad, we reached out to a few places and, we got in contact with Cape Fear Academy. We came on the visit, met a bunch of people, and the rest is history.
Yeah. And you got some family in Raleigh too, right? That live down here,
Yeah,
made it a little easier as well. Awesome. And
exactly.
you know, what was it like coming here and coming to a new situation? How important was it to have guys like Emmanuel, who I know you already knew before you got to Cape Fear, and Yvonne, your two other Canadian teammates at Cape Fear Academy, especially as a sophomore when you first arrived? How good was it to have those two guys here, kind of going through the same experience that you were going through?
I mean, it was really helpful. You know, there were a lot of times where the homesickness would kick in, but at least we were all going through it at the same time. So we had people to kind of talk to and kind of relate to our situation. But you know, like I said before, you know, the situation we were in, especially with our host families and the community, our coaches and our friends all around us, you know, it really helped to make Cape Fear Academy and Wilmington feel like home, you know?
Yeah. And I know you signed on with Vermont earlier this year. When did you commit to Vermont? Did you commit in your junior year?
No, I committed in November this year.
Okay. And what about Vermont made it the right fit for you? What are you most excited about getting up there?
You know, for one, the distance was never like a thing when I first like went up there. Like it's not really what I was thinking about. Of course, it's a big factor that it's only 2 hours away from home, but you know, just being there with the guys and you know meeting the coaching staff and the connection that the staff has with the players and just the overall support of a community that the team has, the program's history of developing players and a winning history is really something that attracted me when I was up there. And you know, amongst all the places that I was kind of looking at, you know, when I went up there for my visit, you know, that was the place I wanted to be.
A small campus, really, right? It's a pretty small campus. Is that something you like? Being able to, it's not going to feel like a huge, massive college when you get up there, and I imagine the classes will be small as well.
I mean, the size of the campus to me wouldn't really affect me that much because I feel like as an individual I'm able to adapt to you know any environment. But you know the fact that it's a small campus, you know, it's a cool thing. You know that the community is so like together and everyone goes and supports everyone, and it's just a really good feeling overall.
One thing that's not a small campus is you, man. 6'9". Have you always been tall, or did you hit a growth spurt at some point in your life?
I hit a growth spurt around like 12 or 13, and that's where it really like skyrocketed. I was like way taller than everyone in my classes and in my grades, so that's really when it really you know went up. So before then I was always a bit taller than everyone, but during that time is really when it really got up.
And and I imagine before that growth spurt, you were playing basketball, right? You were into the sport even before you were
Yeah.
really tall. Was there an adjustment period when you get to be, upper 6 feet, 6'9" and such, where you have to learn new ways to kind of control your body, especially as an athlete?
So the thing is that during my whole childhood, I did karate actually,
Oh wow.
and karate is what helped me really coordinate my body and like to feel like comfortable in my body, especially when I was like so tall. Is really what helped me like adjust and really feel like normal in my skin. So like when most people see me like walking around and stuff, they're like, wow, like you really like fit and feel like comfortable in like such a long body because you know, like tall basketball players, especially like tall kids at like a young age, sometimes it could be awkward, you know, to be so tall and like try to fit in. But doing karate really helped me for sure.
Yeah, and I know, there's a difference between tall basketball players and then tall Division I basketball players, and just being able to have that balance with your body. I mean, do you still do karate, or did you kind of give that up at a certain age?
When I started getting really serious about basketball, I kind of didn't have time for it anymore. So I don't do it, but I've done it for a really long time. So it really helped me in terms of like flexibility and like that kind of stuff, and really being able to be like coordinated. It really helped me.
When you think back to, or when you think about what the final 4 months at Cape Fear Academy or 3 months could have been, what's one thing that you really are, kind of missing that was not able to happen because of this pandemic? Maybe what's the one thing you wish you could, if you could snap your fingers and do one thing from your final 3 months of senior year, what would it be?
Being able to see the guys every single day, mostly like it's been weird because you know you see those guys every day. You see them at school. You know you chill between classes. If you have classes with them, you're with them during class. You're with them during lunch. You're with them after school. You go hoop. You know, you go lift together. You go shoot together. You go play together, play games, runs, all that stuff. So like not being able to see those guys I've been seeing for like every single day for the past years, it's been really, really weird. And if that's the one thing, like if there's one thing I could have that I could just, snap my fingers and it could happen, is definitely like seeing all those guys.
What's that first run, that first 5-on-5 pickup game going to be like when this is all over? I mean, is it going to be more competitive than normal, a little less competitive and fun, just appreciating that you're out there? What's that going to be like when you can finally get a basketball and compete against someone else?
think I think I've had conversations like over FaceTime about this. Like I feel like the first bucket that's scored is gonna feel like the NBA championship, like simple layup, and everybody's gonna be like, "Let's go!" Like I feel like it's just gonna be a good. Like I feel like not even just for this, but I feel like for everyone, like everywhere, that's like just waiting to be able to see the people they love. Like whenever we're gonna be able to, be like all together again, I feel like it's just gonna be a positive vibe, like all around.
Yeah. Have you guys talked at all about where you'd like to play that first game whenever this all opens back up? Is it in the Cape Fear Academy gym, or is there another place that you guys?
It has to be.
Huh?
It has to be. It has to be. It has to be.
All right, George. Last question for you. Are you how many times have you been to Zaxby's since the this pandemic hit?
I've been. So my host brothers really like Zaxby's as well. So we've been maybe like 2 or 3 times,
Okay.
and it's been like I said in the interview with the other guys, man. Zaxby's it's different.
It is. I know. For anyone that hasn't read it yet, please, go to Star News Online. Just kind of Google the Canadian connection with Cape Fear Academy. Did a great story with George, Emmanuel Bonsu, and Yvonne Missick. And George went into held nothing back on his love for Zaxby's and American fast food there. And it was a pleasure to get to know those guys. George, one more question for you, actually. If I know you're a huge Toronto Raptors fan. The finals, the playoffs are the NBA season on pause right now. How far do you think the Raptors could have gone or could maybe go if the season resumes sometime soon?
You see, the thing is that I am a Raptors fan, but I'm not one of those fans that's gonna talk unrealistically.
Okay.
I know we're not getting to the finals. We're probably losing to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals because the Bucks were on a mission this year. But I think we're going in 7 versus the Bucks and losing, unfortunately. But ride or die for my Raps, man.
I like it. I'm hoping the Heat are the team that loses to the Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals. At this point, I'm just hoping for playoff basketball at some point. I think there's a little bit of momentum right now, so we'll see. Awesome, George. I appreciate it so much, man. Thanks for joining me. Stay safe, stay healthy, and good luck to you. I'm sure we'll be catching up moving forward while you're at Vermont, man. Have a great day.
Thank you for setting this up, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.